Hey everybody, here we are for another episode. I don't know, I can't remember the number. I'm going to say, 4. Okay, thank you, Misha. Of conscious, oh my
Practical.
gosh, practical magic. Conscious,
The name is not practical at all, but we are consciously aware of it.
That's it. And it may never get that entire title correct, but anyway. Here we are, and I'm Diana Leader from Crave More Life Coaching, and of course here's A Case of Living, and we are happy to be offering another episode. And we've got some good stuff to talk about today. So listen up and enjoy.
Yeah, you may have to go out and get a new vehicle when we're through with this episode. That's kind of where we're at. This whole thing, it really didn't start with getting a new vehicle. It started with, kind of the magician is kind of where it started, because the magician has the infinity sign over it. And no matter what energy is, it's neither bad nor good. As you know, energy is neither bad nor good. It's just energy. If it gets dense, however, when we're in denser energies, that's when we're sad, we're not happy, we're not healthy, we're not prosperous, we're not abundant, because we were created in the frequency of unconditional love. So for us to be at our best, we need to be in that frequency. When we're in the denser energies, we're not in that frequency. So as Dr. Bruce Lipton's book, The Honeymoon Effect, pointed out, we are not healthy, happy, prosperous, abundant, any of those things. That's the frequency we need to be in. So what we need to be doing, we need to be in positive energy loops all the time. We need to be in energy loops with people, relationship with people, because energy is relationship.
Mm-hmm. So everything in life is relationship.
Yep. Right. So we need to be in relationships that are positive energy loops. So what I got this morning, because what I've been doing lately is no matter what the energy is, I don't worry now about, is it dense, whatever. I don't try to clear dense energies. I just, whenever I go into my pyramid, which my one of my meditation buddies now is, put us in a pyramid. I just love it. I was hurting the other night, and somebody sensed it and called me up and said, I know you're in pain. I can feel it. So let's get in the pyramid. I love it,
Nice.
So, but it's just, I love that people are doing that. But it's so, I just immediately just say, just take us immediately to the highest timeline for me. My highest timeline. All my energy just goes to the highest timeline. So I don't worry about saying clear the denser energy or any of that, because it's not bad. It's not good energy. Just take whatever energy I've got, and I call all my energy back to myself. And then I take all the energy that's entangled or being tangled up with other people, or that any restrictions I have that's within my chakra system. I open that up and get all those things untangled, and I raise that up to the highest vibrational frequency, and I send it back to whoever it needs to go to, and I call mine back, and I just take every ounce of energy that there is that I'm associated with, and I say, let's take that up to the highest vibrational frequency possible, the highest timeline, and go forward with it. So today I got, you're setting up a positive energy loop all the time for every relationship that you're in, including the one with yourself. Mm-hmm. But what do you think this highest timeline is that you're always talking about? And I'm like, it's my highest timeline. And they're like, yeah, what's your highest timeline? And I'm like, and they're like, what is it you're doing all the time? And I'm like, you're harping me today about self-care because I'm really tired from what I did the past 2 days. And they're like, yes. And what is self-care? And I said, unconditional love. And they said, so what is your highest timeline always? And then I got it.
Ta-da!
It's unconditional love. We're always, for each of us, supposed to be in a positive energy loop of unconditional love with everyone else. That is what we're doing. That's why this is what you can expect of me. It's unconditional love. So when we're in resonant energy, when we're in frequency with ourselves, we're only going to be calling in resonant energy. So that is what we're always to be doing. And if it's not resonant with us, then it's become a negative energy loop. The second we recognize that, we pull our energy from it, mm-hmm. and we get back into frequency with ourselves, or we turn it back into a positive energy loop with ourselves, back into unconditional love with self, which immediately will then attract resonant energy back in. So we have another positive energy loop with more resonant energy. So constantly, what this infinity symbol represents is us being in the frequency of unconditional love with self, constantly be attracting in resonant energy, which is other energy of the same frequency of unconditional love. And so I'm like, holy smokes. And here all this time, I mean, we make this so complex, and it's not. If we just recognize that somebody is not in frequency with us, don't judge it. Just send their energy back to them at the highest vibrational frequency for them that there is, and call ours back. And don't judge the energy. It's neither bad nor good. Just call it up to be unconditional love and get in frequency with ourselves. What we need will come to us. We're the magicians of our lives, not theirs. Mm-hmm. They're not the magicians of ours. Mm-hmm. We're the magicians of our own.
Right.
This is how we have the right people in our lives, the right relationships, the right jobs, the right friendships, the right everything. And it's staying in unconditional love with ourselves.
Yeah.
And as a friend pointed out, and I think you're probably going to talk about, it's owning the right truck.
Yes, because it's time for the practical piece, right? So, and we've talked about this so many times that it really is very basic, and it really is about staying in that frequency of unconditional love.
It is.
So when we're, whether we don't get the energetic part or we do, doesn't really matter, because the human experience, in the human experience, we need to do the same thing. So we call it things like feeling good, feeling satisfied, feeling resonant with whatever happens around us and with the people around us. So if there is, if there is a relationship that is not working in a way that leaves you with those feelings, then that's a pretty good indicator that it's time to pull yourself away from it. And that's just, we all know that, you've got, your boyfriend or your girlfriend is not, is just not working out, then you break up. It doesn't have to be nasty. It doesn't have to be mean. It doesn't have to be, full of all kinds of hate notes and all that nonsense. But it's something that you need to do, because while you're doing that, you are pulling back your energy and you are uplifting, right? You're releasing what was there. You're uplifting then yourself back to that state of unconditional love. So yeah, we all need to do that. And you sure you want me to talk about the truck thing?
Well, I can. I was explaining today. I was explaining this today to a friend who was asking about it. And I said, okay, it's like this. You can be in a relationship and the person could show up on the same page you did. Okay, this is me. This is how I show up. And they say, me too. I show up this way. And then whether it's really who they were or not, it changes. You can spend all your energy. I got choked on my drink. Sorry. Uh-oh. All your energy, all your time, everything, trying to get them to go back to being that. Yep. And never get them there. You can't convince them to. You can't show that. You can talk to your blue. You're not going to get them there. The same way with a job. Either a job is working out or it's not working out. You can't change somebody else.
Right.
But what you're doing when you're doing that, you're missing your own lifetime. You're not using your energy for your own life. So you have to call your energy back to yourself, and you have to let them go on and be them. Yeah. And so the friend who now has become a country music fan, who's decided that country music has the best morals, said it's like that guy who had the new truck, and the girlfriend was in the truck with him all the time, but now the girlfriend has left him, and he's got to sell the truck because he can't take it anymore. It still smells like a new truck. It doesn't have many miles on it, but as long as he's got the truck, he keeps thinking about the girlfriend. I said, he's like, so that's why he's got to get rid of the truck. I said, yes, her energy is in the truck. And so to pull his energy back and to go forward on his timeline, he's got to sell the truck. Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, he said, probably some people are thinking it's pretty silly to sell that new truck, but he's got to sell that truck. And I said, he's got to sell the truck. So it's very practical. Yeah, so you can talk about the practicality of selling the truck, but yes, he's got to sell the truck, no matter what the family
Yeah.
thinks of it, or
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You got to sell the truck. You know, you have to rearrange your furniture. You have to remove someone from your contact list. I mean, there are all kinds of things to do, and you'll know what you need to do. You know, it's the things that you don't want to go toward, you know, that you, I don't want to be in that truck, you know, I don't want to sit on that couch. That's where we used to sit, or whatever it is, you know. Take a different path when you go for your walk. All kinds of things. But yeah, you got to sell the truck. Yeah.
Now, we would say you could clear the energy in the truck, but maybe not. Maybe you got to sell the truck, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
let your mom and dad tell you, you can't sell that truck. Yes, you can. You're
Yeah.
sovereign over self. If you need to sell the truck, sell the truck.
Yes. If you need, absolutely. If you need to sell the truck, sell the truck. Yeah. If you are okay with it, if it's not something that you're feeling misaligned with in any way, then keep the truck. But yes, you have to go inside and decide for yourself if that's what you need to do to make yourself feel as though you're back in, yes, unconditional love, and feeling good, peaceful, good,
Right.
aligned, resonant.
Yeah, all the
Yeah.
lights went up. Your end, my end, all the lights. If you need to sell the truck, sell the truck.
There you go. Sell the truck.
Yeah, because that's what it comes down to. Is what does it take for you to bring your energy back up and go forward on your timeline?
Yeah.
And if you need to get rid of the truck, you get rid of the truck.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that if your buddy bought the truck, you can never get in that truck again. Doesn't mean that you stay away from your buddy. It doesn't mean that you can never look at that model of truck on the road again. It doesn't mean any of those crazy things. It just means that at that moment in time, that's what you needed to do.
Yep.
So you could align yourself with your frequency again, and you could go forward.
Yeah. Yeah. Trust yourself. There's no right or wrong. You only have yourself to go into and, you know, to check in to see whether or not that's something that is going to be important for you. Trust yourself. Do it. Yeah. Yeah. So if anybody's in the market for a truck,
But in all honesty, it does come down to there's no reason for us to have a negative energy loop. The infinity sign should always be a positive energy loop. Mm-hmm. And that's our personal responsibility to do. Mm-hmm. We're all the magicians of our own lives. Our health, wealth, abundance, and prosperity depends on our own personal self-care, which means our own self-love. Self-love is not a bad thing. When we are aligned with ourselves, we're attracting in who and what we're supposed to.
Yeah.
And when we're in relationship with who and what we're supposed to be, that means they're in relationship with who and what they're supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
It works both ways. So if someone is supposed to be in a relationship with us and they're not, they're missing out, but you can't make them do it. There's nothing you can say or do to make them do it.
Yeah. Agreed.
So you pull your energy back and you go on down your timeline anyway. And you leave their life to them. Yeah. If you can afford to, sign the truck over and give them the truck. Say, here's the truck even, you know, because you don't need the truck even. You don't need it.
Yeah.
Because you're energy and you've got everything you need in yourself.
Yes. And that whole point is to release what is not serving you. Yeah. You know, just release it. However you have to do it. You know, if you have to sell the truck, sell the truck. If you have to
without
move,
judgment,
you know,
without judgment.
Yes, it's just something that you're feeling you need to do. So do
yeah, right. It doesn't make anybody bad or good. It's somebody's level of understanding of things. It's where they're at, and you can't change where somebody is at. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. You know, that's why I say you could talk forever to someone. You could explain forever. You could show somebody forever. You could use your love language forever to show them you love them. You could try to change to their love language forever to show them that you love them. They're either They've either gotten into frequency with you or they haven't.
Mm-hmm.
And this is so important for twin flame world to understand, for the person who knows that's their job and it's not coming to alignment for some reason, for the person who knows, that's my family. You're supposed to be able to be in alignment with your family. For the person who just knows society's programmed them to believe that, well, can't make them be in alignment with you. Mm-hmm. None of that is true. We all have to just simply be happy ourselves.
Well, yeah, and you know what I get when you talk about that, when you trying to be in alignment when you're not, or right. Just, it's really, you're just kind of fibbing to yourself, right? Because whether you are or you're not, and and I just feel like this when you talk about that, it's like everything it's
restrictive living.
Up. It's really restrictive, and it restricts not just. Well, it restricts all of you. Really, it's not just one piece. It's not just your relationship with that person. You are not functioning in full alignment for yourself. So you're not completely sovereign over yourself. You're not making choices that work for you. You're allowing yourself to make choices that don't work for you. Right?
So health, wealth, abundance, and prosperity. And therefore, what you're reverberating out is not authentic to you. And authenticity, the convention I was at yesterday, the past 2 days, they kept saying the word authentic. And I kept wanting to say, they would ask at the end of each session, does anybody have anything they want to say or ask? And I kept wanting to stand up and say, do y'all know what the word authentic means? I was dying to stand up and say, do you understand its frequency? Of course I knew it was not it was about music. So really I should have, but I didn't. But because they did, I know that it wasn't the place to do it, but we're not being authentic to ourselves is the issue. And when we're not authentic to ourselves, we're reverberating out the wrong frequency in the wrong place. We're attracting in the wrong people. The energies we're attracting in none of it is authentic to who we really are. So the experience that we're having here it's not the best and highest good. It's not truly self-love, no. For ourselves or for those people.
Well, you know what? Being misaligned is not self-love at all.
Right.
And it's not sovereignty, and it's not resonance.
It's not unconditional love.
No, it's not unconditional love.
But we tell ourselves that we're in control when we're doing that. I'm controlling this situation. I'm over here. I'm doing it my way. And what we're doing, we're over here doing it our way, and we're reverberating out all this misaligned energy, and we're affecting all these other people with it, causing them to be misaligned because we're reverberating out of tune energy.
Mm-hmm. Well, I like that, out of tune, yeah.
We're out of tune. I really should have given this talk at this musician.
You should have.
I really should have.
You should have.
Because it's out of tune energy is what it is. It's inauthentic. So when we're inauthentic, we may be living a life where we're manifesting a good life, but we're not manifesting the unconditional love life that we're supposed to have. So we might be driving a great truck, but we're not enjoying that great truck because it's reminding us of things that we don't have that we really want. And so when we go to bed at night, we're not easy, we're not resting, we're not happy, we're not satisfied, we're not content within ourselves, or at some point during the day. Maybe you're sleeping like a baby, but other times during the day, you're non-resonant within yourself. Mm-hmm. That's what that is. Mm-hmm. Or there are people, places, and things that you can't forget them. They won't go away. That's because those are the things that are supposed to be a part of your unconditional love. That is you, that you are denying yourself by not being in the energy you're supposed to be in.
Right. So those things that just keep coming back, hammering away at us. And yeah.
And we have to understand, we're not just doing that to ourselves. We are in relationship with other people. If we're not in frequency, and we're in relationship with other people, they're not in frequency either. So we're causing them or contributing to them doing the same thing in their lives. So that's why that's why our responsibility is to be in alignment with ourselves, our best and highest good. And it's not selfish, it's unselfish. Selfish is settling. Selfish
Yeah.
is driving that truck that's keeping you from getting over the girl that you're thinking about in the truck. That's selfish, not selling the truck, to the buddy at a loss. That's
Yeah.
that's the unselfish thing to do. As impractical as that may sound, it may not be the practical thing to do, but it's the unselfish thing to do. Whatever it takes to get yourself in alignment,
Yeah.
no matter how the world views it.
Yes, absolutely. And so many times when we're in that situation and we choose not to honor ourselves, we think that we're doing it for, we think it's the right thing to do, as you're saying. We think that it's going to leave us feeling better in some way, and it doesn't, because we're not. We're hiding, like when we don't completely align to ourselves. Yes, we're absolutely hiding. There's something, my first question when I talk to people that are in that state is, so what's behind all that, like, so if this is your alignment and it's going like this.
Oh, you're doing
So,
my 3D pretzel being put in the box. And
all right, I'll do
yeah,
that. Okay, good. See, I pay attention sometimes. But if that's it. You're wonky, like, and so you're gonna feel wonky. You're not going to carry yourself the same way. But it's kind of like, I think about the human experience and how we don't always tell ourselves the truth. Hello, lights.
yeah.
How we don't, yes, how we we kind of make up stories to ourselves to hide from ourselves, which is really a little weird when you think about it, right? But that's what it is. We're making up stories so that we don't have to face the hard part of being aligned, which is what people always think will be the time when we have to say yes or no.
Which fits with the whole notion that every life is a story, and our lives are not meant to be ordinary stories, but extraordinary stories. Our lives are ordinary stories when we come up with these false narratives, or these narratives that are less than the extraordinary, true, authentic stories, which we are meant to be. The unconditional love that we're meant to be, the frequency, the authenticity we're meant to be in. Mm-hmm. When we step into the authenticity, then we are all extraordinary. The ordinary comes when we live in third dimensional energies, which are bending ourselves like pretzels to fit the roles that society had given us, or that other people are assigning to us, or that we are the narratives that we are telling ourselves, which aren't true. We belittle ourselves. We write ourselves lesser roles than that which we are really here to play or fill. It's not playing. This is the energy that is our lives. Mm-hmm. And it's up to us to be sovereign over it and choose. Choose. I'm going to be unconditional love. I'm going to be that frequency. And I'm not going to be less than that. Because if I'm less than that, I'm causing other people to fill lesser roles than they came here to fill. And my personal responsibility to myself is to be all that I can be, so that I'm attracting in that, and I'm not keeping anyone else from doing the same.
Right. So my question is, because we're going to have to wrap up shortly,
yes.
My question is, and this is for everybody, because we're all in this to some degree, none of us are perfect about it. I go.
We were all raised the same way. Yeah, we were all raised the same way.
With all those influences, yes. Yeah. So the question is, what is it that keeps us hidden? What is that piece that keeps us hidden? What don't we want to admit to ourselves? Where don't we want to look? Because that's where you need to look, by the way.
The silvery light we don't want to face, the mirror we don't want to look in, what don't we want the full moon to show us? The
understanding of ourselves that we all know, but we know that if we face it, it's going to be a little uncomfortable to start. It's going to, like, that switch over is going to feel a little uncomfortable maybe, so don't want to go there. So yeah, what is that? So think about that stuff.
Too often it comes down to, we've been told that it is wrong to think that life is magical and that we are supposed to have these big, beautiful, magic lives, and that we have the power and the right to use the power to create the beautiful life that within us we all want, and that to even express it. That's why because we both have had throat chakra issues doing this show. That's why. Is because and the series Find Your Voice, Save Your Life. It's because we've been programmed. Don't speak up. Don't go for the big thing. Don't go for what you really want. No, that is not right. That is exactly what we're all to go for. Because when we all go for that and we're all in that energy, everybody spirals up to that energy, and everyone has that life.
Right. And imagine what your lives would be like, our lives and the world would be like, if we all just gave ourselves permission to go for whatever we wanted.
Right. So if you need to sell the truck, sell the truck.
Yeah. And don't let anybody bug you about it.
And don't let anybody bug you about it. That's exactly right. So you want to take us out?
Yes, thank you so much for being here, everybody. I appreciate it. And yeah, the throat chakra, they always just kind of jumps in when it needs to. So yes, this was fun. Thank you. Appreciate you just kind of coming and saying, it's time, which is kind of how we do this stuff. None of it is ever is never rehearsed or pre-planned. So it's always fun. So thank you. And again, thank you for being here, guys, and listening and watching, and we will see you next time.
Yeah, on conscious, practical, magic.
Yes. Next time. I'll remember that next time.